76ers lose once again. Well, not once again. This 2-game winning streak was snapped. 104 to 117. This game was a pain to watch because when you look at this March, which and now obviously this is an April game, but if you look at the last 15 games, or really the last 8 games in particular, where we really just let the foot off the gas, there's a lot of the games that we lost. Doc Rivers lost those games. Yeah, there's going to be a Doc Rivers video. But we'll get to the players first, okay? Jimmy and Joe. We'll talk about the Jimmy and Joe's first. I thought John B played a subpar game tonight. At the start with your guy who's the MVP. And if you look at the stat line for it, it's really interesting. So John B finishes 11 to 25, 1 and 7 from 3. Now some basic subtraction, 25 from 7 and 18, and 11 from 1 is 10. So John B goes 10 of 18 from the field and 1 of 7 from 3. Why the fuck were you shooting 7 3-pointers, Joel? And really, a lot of them were off of rebounds. You weren't resetting the offense. I just thought he had a poor tempo to him throughout the game. I thought he destroyed a lot of offensive possessions for you. Honestly, it was a game where you just weren't getting MVP Joel. You were just getting 28, 9, and 5 Joel on not very good efficiency, which, it hurts. And obviously, as some will point out, the game changed when you took Embiid out of the ball game with 4 fouls, and I'll get to that. But there are other parts of this that I want to get to, and I got to it on Twitter, and I'm going to get to it right here, right now. Tobias Harris, 3%, 0 for 3 from 3, 6.3 rebounds, 3 assists. To his credit, 2 blocks and a steal, but in 28 minutes. PJ Tucker, 2 for 5, 1 for 3 for 3, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 fouls. Minus 12 and minus 11 respectively for those guys. The minivan, 0 for 2 from 3 and a roll, and 0 everywhere else, but 1 personal foul and a minus 10. And Jalen McDaniels is a small forward, 0 for 4, 0 for 1 for 3, 0 points, 3 rebounds in 14 minutes for a minus 9. I said in the offseason and I said the year before that we needed a forward, but goddamn, we've actually found a way. Credit to Dale Moore, you found a way to downgrade from Danny Green. You were already barely scraping the surface of serviceable wingman with Danny Green. You have found a way to be worse at that position a year later. I don't know how you do it. Keep doing it, Dale. It's sarcasm. It's sickening to watch these guys on the forward position. Because sometimes they'll either play above their level to be decent basketball players, and that's a story in of itself. You have to play above your level to be just decent. But most nights they're complete and utter garbage. Can you believe that we're paying $47 million to Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker? Like, how? Like, there's no way that could happen. And yeah, a lot of guys shoot the bed. Anthony Melton, 1 for 5, 3 points, 2 fouls, 21 minutes played. Honestly, if Tyreek Maxey doesn't go off, you don't score 100. It's that bad. So really, Joel B gets a C game. Tyreek Maxey gets a B-plus game. I thought Tyreek Maxey also played some pretty damn good defense. But, if you're going to keep giving up rebounds and keep shooting bad shots, you're just going to give the other team opportunities. And that's what you have with the Bucks, just able to get transition opportunity after transition opportunity, able to run, the floor, and able to do those type of things. And that really impacted a lot of what you were doing. But Paul Reed, so actually, this is really interesting. So now we're going to get on to the doc segment. So for those of you, I put the players first, okay? I put the players first, The Sixer Bake Boom, me and him, and all the other Sixer fans on Twitter. We go back and forth, and I put the Jimmys and Joes first. The players didn't play well. The players didn't play great. All right, I laid that out there. So now I think it's fair to criticize coaching. So since we just put the Jimmys and Joes up there, what can a coach control? You can control your lineups. So you make a run back, you get to a certain point where you have a shot here. And then Giannis does Giannis things, and the little upper under gets Paul Reed to bite. And obviously that's a mistake on Paul Reed. You're 6'9", you're not really small per se. Like we're at a point where it's just, if I may, excuse me, we're at a point where it's unrealistic. Yeah. We're at a point where it's unrealistic. Where we're talking about size. You're 6'9", but a summer 2 wingspan. You're pretty tall. You can affect guys who shot without leaving your feet. So you leave your feet, you make a mistake. It's the only mistake you make in the game. Paulie played 13 minutes, and he only made one mistake. The upper under, and honestly, when you get a foul on the upper under, even though it is a mistake by Reed, obviously, to leave your feet, that's more Giannis than it is Paul. That's a great job by Giannis Antetokounmpo in that situation. So that happens. Doc speaks out, and this is where you lose the game, where you have to watch P.J. Tucker and George Niang. Doc, this game is stupidly simple. You want fast people, tall people, quick people. You want people who can play on an athletic NBA floor. P.J. Tucker and Tobias Harris together is not an ideal coordination, athletic, kinetic lineup movement at the floor position to begin with. Niang and Tucker is disastrous. Oh, and by the way, enough of the idea that P.J. Tucker is a 6'5" center. No, he's not. And no, it doesn't magically, P.J. Tucker doesn't magically awaken something in James Harden at the 5. He spreads the floor by virtue of not being a post player. If that's what you're really concerned about, you can tell even Paul Reed to just stand in the corner. It's that simple. You don't have to sub a particular player to get that scenario of a 5-out offense. We don't have to watch the horror of P.J. Tucker pretending to be a center just so he can spread the floor. It's hideous. It's ridiculous. I know he'll never stop Game 78, but it's not a viable option, Doc. There's nothing viable about it. You want to spread the floor, tell everyone to stand on the perimeter. And somebody say, well, if a guy like Paul Reed stands on the perimeter, maybe the big man sags. Okay, and he gets Paul Reed a freeway to the rim. Seriously. And I'm not saying that you can have Paul Reed on the perimeter if you want. I'm just saying you don't have to make your lineup ineffective just to spread the freaking floor. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for me to gouge my eyeballs watching P.J. Tucker pretend to play center. Enough. He's not a center, Doc, at all. Not even a little. Stop it. So yeah, that was interesting. The other part of that also, Embiid picks up his 4th foul. And the immediate contrast, when Giannis picked up his 4th foul, Budenholzer said, you know what, you're my superstar, you're my guy, I'm going to rock with you, I'm going to carry this home with Giannis, and Giannis does that. And even though I said Embiid played a mad game overall, you benched Joel Embiid. This happened before. This happened in Phoenix. This is the same scenario, except you didn't go to Deadman. But you're close, not really that close, it was a little bit longer than the Phoenix deficit, but you're in a game and you decide to take out the big dog. And lo and behold, the game is out of reach. You might as well not put him in, but you put him in anyway. Like, and there's one more thing I'm going to criticize Doc about, but that's it for the lineups. Your substitutions were terrible. When they're getting started early in the game also, the Bucks hitting these shots. I thought Doc Rivers did a very poor job of, I'm sure he wants them to play through it, but you're a coach. Jonathan Harris presumably hired you to coach. Part of the reason you have those timeouts is to give breathing room to your guys and make some adjustments to the lineup if need be. You're just not that guy because you just watched the Milwaukee Bucks go up by 20 plus, and that was all she wrote. Very similar to what happened with Toronto, although Toronto fought back. But just poor job by Doc as far as that regards. So here's the other thing. When we hire Doc Rivers, one of the mainstays of Doc's philosophy is when we see something that we like, when we see a player that's going off, we're going to keep going to that guy, right? Unless he's 23 years old, then we just might not. Tyrese Maxey, 28 points, 9 for 15, 29 points, 29 points, 9 for 15, 6 for 7 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the line, 4 rebounds, only 15 shots. John Embiid shot 25 shots, 10 more, and again, that is on Joel. But from a play style perspective, when you see Maxey going on that run in the third quarter, you should be telling your guys, Tyrese Maxey's hot. There's something with Milwaukee's defense that Maxey's able to exploit. Let's continue to run dribble handoffs. Let's run some more pick and rolls. Let's get Tyrese Maxey going downhill. And if they're trapping him up high like they were doing, then you could put the big man Joel at the people line, extend it, punish that. No, none of that. Zero creativity at all to either get Tyrese the ball or to take advantage of Milwaukee pressing up the Tyrese. None of that. It's ridiculous. So, is Doc Rivers the guy to lead you into June? The answer is no. He's only done it once in his career. Doc Rivers has only been in June one time in his life. Well, 2 times. He went back to the finals and lost. So 2 times in his life, he's been to June with one team with 4 Hall of Famers. Anything left of 4 Hall of Famers, this guy is worthless. We're just waiting for the inevitable firing at this point. That's what this comes down to. We can give ourselves some false optimism, but really, whoopie-doo, we're going to beat the Brooklyn Nets, but we're done. We're a playoff tiger. There's Milwaukee, then there's Boston, and also obviously the bench wasn't really that good either. There was also Paul Reed. Let's talk about Paul Reed a little bit more in detail. 13 minutes, 4 for 5. Paul Reed's been doing really good at getting these garbage buckets, as they call them, underneath the rim. But Paul Reed, in 13 minutes, got 10 rebounds. In 28 and 24 minutes apiece, Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker got 5 rebounds. So, to put this in perspective, Paul Reed doubled the other forwards on the floor in rebounding in less than half the time. If you play Paul Reed more minutes, Like Rob said, if you play him next to Embiid, who knows what happens? Who knows what occurs? Maybe it's bad, maybe the spacing is terrible, maybe the offense falters. I don't know. You don't know. It's less than 5 minutes for those two combined. They played a game against Chicago a couple years ago, and they were pretty effective. And this is the biggest reason Doc Rivers will never win a championship. Doc doesn't know how to experiment. So since you're locked into the first seed, for example, you rest Joel, you rest James, because honestly, at this point, who gives a fuck? Show's over, everybody. MVP voters, they're gonna have to make a decision with this because for this Sixers team right here, right now, it's a waste of time to get these guys dragged through the mud of an 82-game season like this. I need to see what Paul Reed could do with more minutes. I need to see what, Jalen McDaniels, when we acquired him, we wanted him to be a starter. Dale Morey talked about him being a secret weapon. Not really so much. You need to discover these guys. Jaden Springer, 29.16 rebounds, speed block, in a playoff game in the G League. What is Jaden Springer? I have to find out. We have to find out. The Sixers organization has to find out. There were so many questions. And the guys that you trusted, the NBA veterans and the bot, whatever, they're just not that good, okay? And especially in comparison to the other NBA veterans of other teams that you're going to be in the playoff. Right? They're just not good. I don't have any aspirations for PJ Tucker and Jordan Yang. I don't. But Jaden Springer, and I criticized the hell out of that pick, but players improve from when they were drafted. Tyrese is an excellent example of that, obviously. So I have my eyes open to a different prospect. I need to see what Jaden Springer looks like in an NBA setting. What does Jaden Springer look like? This organization is obligated to find out. Because right now, you don't have the horses, but maybe you do in the Springer defensive capability. I don't know. All I know is that this rotation ain't it. Like, Jordan Yang is not an NBA playoff rotation player. And he's the guy that's one of your forwards off the bench. Shake Milton is not an NBA playoff rotation player. You need to use the last 4 games to figure out what's going on here. Because I don't know. And that's scary. Game 79, game 78, we've literally done everything you possibly could in the lineup, and we still don't know who we could trust on a consistent basis. The only ones we could trust on a consistent basis, Joel, obviously, more likely than not James, although James had his disappearing act. I didn't mean to omit it. It's just we all saw it, And there were other things that were either more perturbing or more distracting than the fact that James Harden gave up the ball a million times. But you could trust Joel, you could trust James, and we are beyond the point where you could trust Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey looks like one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. He should have had those 10 extra shots that Embiid took. He could have easily had 38, 39, could have easily willed us to a victory. Just didn't give him the touches that we needed to give him. But those are the 3 guys you could trust. Everything outside your big 3 right now is as unreliable, if not even more unreliable, at any point than it's ever been in the Doc Rivers era. And that's why I am more than ready to see Jaden Springer 30 minutes tonight. Jordan Yang isn't reliable. Daniel House is not reliable. Paul Reed is kicking ass. I want to see more Paul Reed minutes. You're at the point where you did the consistent things you did with PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris and Jordan Yang for 76 games. I've seen enough. It's over. They're not going to get you to June. Those 3 guys are not capable of playing above playoff basketball. So, yeah, that's where I am. I want to see an entirely different rotation. And that means that Joel gets rest. It means James gets rest. It means Jokic is doing it. Nikola Jokic is doing it. Hey, Kendrick, Nikola Jokic is doing it. We're at a point now where we need to find out about our deep bench. Because, Lord have mercy. So we need to find out about Springer. We need to find out about Medeiros. We need to find out about Reed. We need to find out about that, even at the cost of MVP votes. You have the profiles you have in front of you. That's what the Nuggets are saying. It's what the Sixers are saying, and soon it's what the Celtics and Bucks are going to be saying. You have the profile in front of you. You make the decision with what you have. Because right now these teams are jockeying for the playoffs, jockeying for positioning, resting guys that they should, and you got to find out what you have. Because right now I'm at a loss. This rotation sucks. This rotation stinks. This rotation isn't where we want it to be in order to win a championship. And you need to use the rest of your games to find that out. 16 Universe signing off. Peace.